All righty, little Chuck Mangione, just to kind of give us our transition time here on Tiger Talk. It's 8:39, and I have the pleasure of welcoming into the Tiger Studios Will Brown. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Inglebrook. How you doing?
It's good. I'm trying to figure out a way to not crack you up. So you and I, we get together, we laugh a little bit from time to time.
Well, I just got the smooth sound of Chuck Mangione to bring me in, so that kind of smoothed it all out. So
it does.
I'm ready.
Sort of comforts you and gets you ready to
now
free yourself.
Now I'm relaxed.
It looks like I couldn't talk you into those great whistle stop donut holes or a cup of coffee, but that's okay.
But I've got my Chuck Mangione hat on that nobody can see, so I'm relaxed now. So that's the important thing.
Well, listen, glad you're here. It's about time, and we've talked about it, but we're nearing the school opening day, and we've got a lot of changes with our school lunches this year. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to bring you in and inform all the parents about exactly what's going on. You hear free lunch for everybody. So that's basically what it is.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you having me in and spreading this with the community. It's important, and y'all here at the Tiger do such a wonderful job for our community. I want to thank you for everything y'all do, for top to bottom. But yeah, it's a big change this year for Caldwell County Schools. We got a lot of different things going on, and food service is really no different. We're instituting what's called the community eligibility provision. Essentially, is the official terminology for it. But what that essentially means is that free breakfast, free lunch for every student in Caldwell County Schools this year.
Right.
In the past, it's been the traditional meal service where you pay a certain price for breakfast, certain price for lunch. But a few years ago, the Congress authorized this money, and it's a great program. It's a program it's mainly for rural and also low income school districts. But and the past few years, it's been in place a few years, but the numbers weren't quite right for us, I felt, to go there. But doing some research this year, working through the Kentucky Department of Education, this year ended up being a year I thought our numbers could be successful. So we jumped in, and hopefully we're going to be in it for a while.
Well, I understand. I attend several of the school board meetings throughout the year, and I think you really did your due diligence on this and your homework. This is something that you didn't just jump into, and,
No.
and I think you analyzed this, and it is about numbers.
It is, and once again, our food service, most people don't understand, and I'm probably people are tired of hearing about it if they ever listen to me, but we're for the most part a self-sustaining program.
Right.
All salaries, benefits, equipment, repairs. If we need a new computer terminal, we pay for it out of food service monies. We don't get a bunch of money from the district or state, and no one does. That's just how it is, state of Kentucky. So, yeah, I had to crunch the numbers, look at them, and wait till I thought I could make a fiscally responsible decision, and I hope I have. So.
Right, and tell us, actually, I'm limited on my knowledge and have not researched it probably the way I should for talking to you about it today, but I do know at least is that we want as many kids in our district to eat breakfast and lunch. The more that participate and eat, the more reimbursement that the school district gets back.
Absolutely, because what we will get our money, we will get a reimbursement from the state through the federal government once a month, and it is purely based on right now participation. That was one of the biggest jumps physically we had to do, was because I had to sit there and factor in the fact that we will not have the same amount of cash revenue that we had in the past. I mean, we were bringing in, you can imagine, you're feeding a few thousand kids a day over the period of a month. It's a pretty good financial, income. Now we're based it solely upon reimbursement, as well as some a la carte sales and sales for extras, which that will still cost you. But we need every kid in this district to come and eat breakfast and to come and eat lunch with us. I know a lot of kids don't eat breakfast. I know they're in a hurry or just don't have it. But, the old saying, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But it is.
Right.
I mean, it gets you started off. It gets you energy through the day. I mean, and it's important just not for the students, but for us as a program as well. But the more we have eat per student that eats a reimbursable meal, we get a reimbursement for every meal. Therefore, It is vital that we have as many people as possible. I program. We need to probably increase participation 5 to 10%.
Okay.
5 is I think a very reasonable. 10 is kind of, I'm shooting for that. That's a
big dream number.
That's a dream. Well, dream would be 100%.
Yes.
But 10 would be a very nice increase. That would help our revenues and therefore allow us to continue the program. Because the thing about the program is this is not a permanent thing. If we get into this program, I have to make the fiscally responsible decision. Therefore, if it's not floating our program, if financially it is not working out, this time next year,
might not be.
I'm going to be the goat of the universe saying, "Hey guys, guess what? We're back to the old way of paying for every meal, or for the most part." So, I really hope this goes. I think it's a great thing for the families of Caldwell County. I know my son graduated a couple years ago, and heck, I'm food service director, and I'd get those dang notices that I was overcharged because I'd see my son's plate come through, and I know what it costs.
Yeah, I got that.
And it's a tremendous cost and a burden upon the families of Caldwell County. So what I'm really, really hoping is that we as a community will take advantage of this, utilize it to its utmost, and make it a program that is going to be here to stay for the families and children of our community.
Was there a certain amount of time that the federal government, did they put a time limit on funding of this, or is it just?
Well, that's always a concern.
Yes.
Right now, that there is full federal funding. They keep talking about reauthorization of different programs in the federal government. And it is a concern that I did have also with some uncertainty, changes in administration, changes in philosophies, if that money would still be available. But as of right now, the money is available, and as long as it's successful and as long as the money's available, heck, I'm excited about this. My ladies are excited about it. I've got 21 ladies out there who are fired up and ready to roll and to do the best we can for the kids of this community.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. There are several kids, I'm sure, in this county that's where they get their main nutrition. 2 meals a day, potentially, breakfast and lunch. And you did say, well, some kids don't eat breakfast, but it is an important meal. I can't get my son to eat it, but and I look back and I didn't really like it, but boy, it's a good start to the day.
It is, and the thing is, what we do, and of course we've caught some flack and grief over what we serve. It's so. But you know what?
That's my next question.
Okay, our meals they're well balanced. They're based upon. We didn't. The federal government, the United States Department of Agriculture, who came up with this new meal program and all the nutrients, they didn't just throw this together. It's based on scientific research. Most people don't realize, and for example, well, I better not go into what an adult meal is at McDonald's. But most people don't know that an adult meal at McDonald's, adult serving, is a Happy Meal, essentially.
Right.
Now, I haven't had a Happy Meal since I was like one, maybe.
I get them every now and then, but I like that double quarter pounder with cheese.
Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah,
or the McDouble
or the Joe Max special. He always thanks me every time I tell him my son gets the double quarter pounder with cheese.
Yeah,
and rightfully so. It's a wonderful sandwich. But the thing is, what we serve, it is healthy. It's not necessarily what everyone wants it to be. But the thing is, there are some eases this year. We're going to try to get some waivers on certain items to go back to
more traditional.
Traditional, for example, we catch grief over whole grain biscuits. Well, this year I'm going to write a letter, try to get a waiver to go back to the nice big fluffy white biscuits, because generally in the South, a biscuit is a
buttermilk
big
biscuit,
white, buttery, greasy, wonderful, crunchy on the edges item.
Man, you're making me hungry now.
And the thing is, we're going to try to go to that, some other things like that, but we're still going to have to stay within the parameters of the law. I get reviewed every 3 years. They come in and do a full menu audit of me to check on sodium, and we have to serve so many offerings of yellow orange vegetables per week and leafy green.
A lot of guidelines, aren't there?
A lot of guidelines, yes. It used to just be kind of, hey, whatever, but now we do have guidelines. And, it was 30 or 40 years since they redid our nutritionals and such, and it was time.
Yes.
But is it a bit of a hindrance? I'm not going to lie, yeah. I mean, that would be silly for me to sit here and say it's not.
Sure.
To offer a lot of the traditional things we always did. But, we're working towards making it more friendly. We change the menu regularly.
I read the menus in the morning,
we try to get the dogs off and add more things the kids like. It's funny. They all they love to complain. Man, all you do is serve chicken. Well, when I do polls of the kids, what do they like? Guess what's number one on every one? Chicken. So it's like it's.
Now, can we do fried chicken? I know when we were in school, boy, man, they had good fried chicken. You had that green gravy, and
well, the green gravy. I never understood. Personally, I don't like gravy that's green. I like mine brown
That's
or white.
what it was.
Yeah, I know it was. It was trying to translucent. It would change color with the surrounding environment.
It was the light in there.
It was a light. Well, it was the gravy too. But we still have fried chicken items. Okay. They are whole grain in nature, though. They're healthier. Okay. It's not Miss Shirley with her bringing out the leftover bucket of chicken to us at the high school. Man, that was
now. And I could go in there at break, and I'd sweeten that, and probably shouldn't sell it, but I could get it. I could maybe talk her out of a cheeseburger every now and then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and our ladies, I have just the most wonderful bunch of ladies out there, and they truly, honestly care about the kids, what they're eating, if they're enjoying it. And that's so important. I mean, they love those kids. They know the importance of their job. It goes back to what you were saying, Ty, that we have individuals that those are the two best meals that they eat all day, and it's important that they enjoy the experience as well as enjoy the food.
And that's an important point. I can look back in my school days, and there are certain cafeteria workers. They play a vital role not only to provide nutrition to our kids, they provide a comfort. And they provide, some of those the interaction that they have with those kids. They are a vital part of the staff.
And my ladies, and I love it, and I encourage it. I like when they mess with the kids and play with them and stuff. I've got one that she misspells on the line when she writes down what it is. She misspells the words, so the kids will say, "What is that? That isn't right," and therefore she talks to them and stuff.
It's a learning environment right there.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing spelling, so there we go. Core content. But the key thing is we want a great experience for the kids, and we hope that this program, by providing free breakfast and free lunch to all students and a reimbursable meal. Now I got to make that clear. You don't get the extras free. If you want extras, you got to pay. Yeah. But a full reimbursable meal, that's part of the experience, and I really hope that'll encourage people to the kids to come on in, grab something. We're going to work on some stuff as the year goes on, like some grab-and-go breakfast for the kids that, like your son and how my son was and how we were in school. You roll in right at the bell. Yeah. Some options where they can, if they're hungry, just grab it and take it to the classroom. We're working on some things like that.
That's great.
And so we're trying to make it to where we best serve the students, because that's our number one objective, is serving the students of Caldwell County, and that's what our goal is.
And I think you do a fantastic job. I see you out in the mornings. I used to drive my kids to school. Don't have to do that anymore. But I see you in the mornings. You hit the campus and hit every cafeteria every morning to get the day started right. Make sure they got everything.
Just to make sure everything's working and doing well, and that they're going. And hopefully they don't. Sometimes they like to yell at me and pick on me, but that's all right. I can take it. I've got somewhat thick skin. I'm getting old. We're getting older now, so. The old skin's tightening up, getting harder. But no, I enjoy going out and seeing them in the mornings and talking to them, make sure everything's going good, and just saying hi. And if there's a problem, we get it fixed. But and the kids are piling through there eating breakfast. But we just need them all to, man. Just line up and eat.
No doubt about it. And I tell you what, it is special. It's a special place to live. And I know during some of the school board meetings, during your due diligence, you went around to other school systems as well that have implemented this program.
Yes.
And you saw how it worked, and it's always good to take that model and go, this fits.
And I work with a wonderful group of ladies too in our co-op, and it's mostly ladies. There's a couple of us guys there, even though usually every meeting we go, "Hello, ladies," and there's a couple of us going, "Hey."
Yeah.
But that's all right. I can handle that.
Sure.
But I asked around, and everywhere so much as I've talked to, it's been a great experience. Their participation is
very
up.
Positive.
And the good thing is, the more money we get, the different items we can start purchasing. And some of those items that the kids really like aren't cheap. And therefore, but the more money we have, the more we can invest in the program, not just in equipment, but also in offerings and things like that. So if we get the participation that we need, it's a win-win situation. Now, there is one thing a little different, and if you don't care, I'm going to talk about this.
Go ahead.
In the past, we always had every kid got what was called a free and reduced meal application. Okay.
Yes.
That was every year. This year it's a little different. Basically, it's called. Oh Lord!
This is when they enroll.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, or when every year, every student at the beginning of the school year gets it. It's basically a HIF form.
Okay.
It's the household and income form. What this does is now it's simpler than the old free reduced form, but it's equally as important. The reason being is, yes, we're already feeding every kid free. That's a given. We're doing that regardless. Well, heck, we did it in the past, and that's why we have $28,000 in charged lunches right now, because we continually feed kids regardless. It's not that kid's fault that someone's not taking care of their meal expenses.
But that's what you have outstanding out there.
Oh, 28,000, about 28,000, yes, sir. That's a heck of a thing. We need help on that too. Please, please, please. You'll be getting letters here eventually. But the household forms are very important because it gives us the households, because sometimes if a kid lives in a household and we need to know who lives in what households, because there are what we call extended benefits that would reach out to other kids.
Okay.
The more free and reduced students we have, the higher reimbursement rate we get, which is huge on this. Once again, we're asking you basically to take 2 or 3 minutes to fill out a form for your kid to eat free all year, for all kids to eat free.
And that's not too much to ask.
No, and lastly, the thing is, people don't realize from those free and reduced lunch forms and numbers, the tremendous amount of benefits we get and the students get. For example, our Hope and Cope centers, that do so much for the students in our school, all kids in our school, their funding is based solely upon those free and reduced numbers. So if they have bad numbers, they don't get the money and they can't do the things they do for our families. The E-rate, the technology stuff, a lot of that is based
tied
upon
into those numbers.
The SEEK funding we get from the state that helps us run the schools, period. A lot of it comes from those numbers. The most important thing, though, is that if a student is considered free or reduced, a lot of things are made available to them. Scholarships, grants. For example, taking the ACT, we can get those fees eliminated if that. All kinds of testing and other services and benefits, easing of payment of fees and such. That's based on those numbers. And if that student is on the list that, hey, they are a free and reduced child, we can provide all those things free. So it's
take
important
advantage
for
of
everybody. Please, and like I said, and like you just said, it's a small thing we ask. It'll take you 2 or 3 minutes to fill the thing out. Nobody sees it. This isn't public information. I know some people have said, "Oh, who's going to see this?" It's the same as in the past. It's private. It's kept in a locked file. And we need those numbers. We need those forms filled out.
And there's just some things that you have to go through in whether it's education, whether it's going to the doctor. You know, these forms are secured. That nobody's going to see them.
Yes.
And so don't get all bent out of shape. And it is to the benefit of your child and other children in the district.
Yeah, we're bound by FERPA, Federal Education Rights Privacy Act. I think that's what it stands for.
I think that's right.
We're bound by that as any other group is. So no, we're not like, hey, let's look at these, and we don't willy-nilly share the stuff. No. I have a list of individuals that I have to get signed off on. The only ones that can see those numbers, and even fewer see the names. So it's protected, it's safe, it's good.
When do they? Where is this form presented to them when they start in their enrollment packet?
All those, yes. When we get the beloved beginning of the year packet of all the stuff, it'll be there. The schools are made copies, so that'll be there for the parents. One per household, please.
And it's important that you take your time, look at that packet when you receive it, when you go to your child's school, and get those forms properly filled out.
There's, once again, that packet, I know it can be a hindrance. Every parent that's put kids through, like, oh, gosh, here comes the file. But there's so many important things in there for freedom for us to publish your child's picture, to updated census information, if you've had a change of numbers or address, what have you. There's all kinds of important stuff in there that need to be filled out that we use to the benefit of your child. I mean, this isn't stuff we do just because, hey, boy, we just got a stack of 1,000 pieces of paper. Let's go through it for fun. No, we do it because it's our job and it's needed and it needs to be done. And I encourage that tremendously. So,
I was going to try to make you laugh. Something hit my head, but we're talking about serious stuff. I was going to mention Tober or Captain Scarlet, and the radio audience doesn't get it, but that goes way back with
us. That's right. Every time you talk about the robot, I always think it is Tober rolling in here.
That is Tober, right?
That's
there.
Tober.
That is Tober.
And I'm correct. Tober is robot spelled backwards.
I believe that's right.
I think a wise man once said that.
He's kind of a queer fellow too.
He's an odd man.
He's an odd man.
He's an odd man.
Because I have to kick him every now and then.
Well, we all need to get kicked every now and again. But no, it like I said, though, this is a great program. I'm excited about it. It's a big new year. For example, can I say one more thing too?
You can talk all you want, man. I mean,
I'm trying to get a show on here. I know you got Gates.
We can
and
arrange
DT.
that too. We can arrange that too.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a few, a little special DJ hour, a little Venus flytrap or what have you.
Yes,
but
yes, sir.
I'm trying to find Mr. and Miss Carlson. I don't know where they are, or
they're probably
or Lottie Anderson. I'm looking for her too.
Yeah.
Jennifer. But anyway, Andy Summers. What have I love that show. But
Great
anyway, at the primary and elementary, we are actually not going to have meal cards anymore. Your students will receive a sheet of paper that has their lunch number, their name, their lunch number on it, and a Xerox copy of the keypads. Now, they are going to do what every other kid in West Kentucky does. Now, in the past, we always made these scan cards. This year, we are going to do, every other school in West Kentucky does this. I researched this too, so I'm not being a mean guy. They will have to learn between 1 and 4 number meal. It's exclusive to them. When you look at that sheet, it was written in my own wonderful handwriting. If you can't read it, I apologize, because I did sit down and write about.
Yeah, boy, you've gone south there.
Yeah, boy, I know that just broke it. But I did write out a few hundred of those, about 700 or 800, about 700.
So they will punch a number into a keypad.
Yes, and then the thing is, everybody's like, "How can they do it? How can they do that?" I guarantee you, they get their smart pad or a smartphone. Say, hey, get in there and show me what you can do on this phone, and bam, they're right in it. So, but what I ask you to do is that sheet comes home, look at it with your child, your children, your grandchildren, your whatever, and work on those numbers a little bit. So when they come in there, we're going to have people to help. We're not just going to say, boy, I hope you don't get hungry if you don't have that number. We're going to be there to help, but work with them so when they come in. And once again, that's as much as anything else, to speed the process up. But we don't want the kid to be uncomfortable coming through the line. We want them to be relaxed. We want them to know that number. And I think some of them, they're going to be big boys and girls now. They're going to be like the older ones in the district doing that keypad. So, point that out to them, and like I told somebody, I guarantee if these people around here in these other counties can do it, our kids are better and brighter than anybody around in this community, in this whole region. So I guarantee our kids are going to do well with it.
And again, most of those, as you mentioned, they're electronic savvy. They can do their computer work, their phone work, and
which I say they're better than me at it, which is not exactly a high bar to reach, because I'm pretty pitiful technologically.
Should be a piece of cake, though.
Yeah, I did learn how to do real cut and paste. They were making fun of me yesterday. Until a year or two ago, I was cutting out stuff and actually taping it on stuff. So now I can actually
you actually do it on the computer.
Yeah, I'm Buck Rogers here.
Trust me, I'm with you, my man.
Yeah.
This has been quite an adjustment for me as well. I've always. I can make a computer do what I want, but I can't overthink it too much.
Well, I can tell you, this is a lot different from the old studio I used to go out and visit you at out there by the City County Park.
Over 30 years ago when we were kids,
yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't see a piece of vinyl or anything, man.
I've been here about a little over 2 months now, and it has been quite a learning experience for me as well. So, and it's still a lot more to go.
Absolutely, man.
But fantastic. Thank you for your efforts on this program, and thank you to the Caldwell County School District. I do think it'll make a difference in our county for our kids, and it is always with something new. It's always a little bit of an adjustment. But I think sounds like you're on the right track.
Well, we're definitely still kind of feeling our way through it. I get interesting emails from the State Department now. Why is this like this, and why is that like that? So they're wonderful working with me. Right. And like I said, there'll be a couple of glitches, but I will guarantee you this: even if we don't get the dang thing to work perfectly right the first few days, your students are going to eat, and they will eat free. And that's the only thing that matters to us, is that the children of Caldwell County are given nutritious, healthy meals, and that their stomachs are as full as we can get them, because that's
they're ready to learn.
A well fed child is a very important thing.
No doubt. And folks, if you're listening and encourage your child to eat breakfast and lunch in the Caldwell County school system. That's what it's there for. And get them there. Whether they're riding the bus or you're dropping them off or however they're getting there, get them there in time to get a nutritious breakfast, and then encourage them to eat lunch as well.
And we'll, like I said, if they're a little late running in, we'll always find some breakfast for them to eat. No problem.
That's
there.
great. Thank you, sir, for what you do. I see you circulating, and thanks to the entire. Hopefully, I'll get Mr. McCarty up here one of these days and let him settle in a little bit. I know he's getting settled in.
He is, but he's settling in well. He's a good man.
Yep.
I think we just lost a wonderful leader in Mr. Boyd.
And that starts today, I guess.
Yes,
Mr.
it
McCarty
is today. Midnight last. Brand new, whole world, but. Mr. Boyd was wonderful. I worked for him directly for many, many years, and under one capacity or another, I almost worked underneath his leadership for 24 years.
Right.
So it's going to be a change, but it's going to be a good change. Mr. McCarty is bringing in a lot of good ideas. He's got a good head on his shoulder. He's a no-nonsense kind of man, and very well-based, and looking forward to working for the man. I think he's going to be a wonderful addition to our district.
Caldwell County Schools in good hands. We appreciate everybody up at the board office and everybody in our district that makes it a wonderful environment for our kids to go to school. It'll be here soon, pretty soon.
Yeah,
pretty soon. August 9th, right?
August the 9th, that's it. They're rolling in, so we'll be ready, hopefully.
Well, thank you so much, Will Brown. And
thanks, Ty and the Tiger, for having me in. I appreciate this time, this forum.
And you have a forum anytime, and we'll come back one of these nights, and we'll play some records or something.
Oh man,
sound good?
Better be late.
All right. Oh yeah. It'll be late. We'll make sure we'll make sure anybody that might be offended is asleep. All right. Well, thank you so much.